for this episode, can we change the podcast music to open this up to a song that we make on SUNO?
I think we could.
Check it, it's the James Altucher Show. Listen up now, the realest podcast in the game, no joke, no doubt. He got the the knowledge, he's spitting fire, dropping gems, making moves, taking it higher. This is the Altucher Chronicles, coming at you real swift, getting deep into the minds of the ones who uplift. From entrepreneurs to comics, he got the liveliest crew. Listen up, tune in, cause we bringing it through.
Okay, I admit it. I love a good TV show. I love watching Netflix, sometimes for 6, 7 straight hours at a time. I love scrolling on Instagram and, dare I say it, even TikTok. I love all sorts of stupid videos on YouTube. Well, why don't I tell you a couple of things that I love? These are a few of my favorite things, and I think you should check these things out. I'm going to include my current favorite AI websites that I like to play with, my favorite Instagram accounts, my favorite Kung Fu movie, my favorite Twitter account to follow, my favorite recent books that I've read, and also my favorite American president or vice president. It depends. So, Jay, do you have a favorite Instagram account?
Oh yeah,
Like one that you always look for?
yes. I was just watching it. I think it's called Cos and Mayor. It's this couple dancing. It's amazing, and their dance move
Wait.
is great. Cos and
See,
Mayor.
that's the thing
COST.
about, like, there would never be a TV show
No.
that's just some like like if you pitched, like if you went into a Hollywood studio, and believe me, I've been in all of them pitching shows, and you said, I just want to do a show with me and my wife doing like really bad dancing. They would say, what are you, who set up this meeting?
Their dance is amazing. Like I found them during the lockdown. Like everyone's like do all this stupid dance move, but their dance is actually amazing. I think they were dance choreographer or from musical theater.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Cost and Meyer.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it. 2 million followers.
Yeah, they just hit 2 million
So
followers.
like more people watch this couple than watch basically any TV show on the planet right now, except for like the Super Bowl.
Right.
So let's see.
Yeah.
And do they have music?
They
that
have
go to?
music, yeah. My favorite one was they were doing the Crazy Frog. Crazy Frog.
Oh yeah, they're fun. This is good.
It is
All right.
great. Yeah, it's like every
Let
time
me-
I'm disappointed or I'm frustrated, I just watch them.
Wait, when are you ever disappointed or frustrated?
You
When
know,
I don't show up for a podcast?
like James,
I
you're
was
like
scheduled
half
to
an
go on?
hour late. No. Sometimes when my dog doesn't do things I want, or sometimes things doesn't pan out that I want to. Sometimes I just look at myself. I'm like, why am I not Italian? I was disappointed that I'm not Italian. No, I'm just joking. But
All right. I'll show you a couple Instagram accounts. I really like this one. This girl who's like a neuroscientist always gives really great neuroscience advice about improving your life. Like she has how to boost your dopamine, are you addicted to your phone, tips for deep sleep, get high on your own biology. So I was just looking at one. So if you Google, her name's Emily McDonald, and the Instagram account is M on the Brain. So EMONTHEBRAIN, M on the Brain, all one word though. And like here's 5 natural ways to boost dopamine.
Here are 5 ways to boost dopamine naturally. Number 1 is kind of a mind game, and it's to decide to do things rather than telling yourself you have to do things. And this is because we actually get more dopamine when we do something as a choice versus when we do something because we have to do it. And all it takes is a little mental reframing. The second way to boost dopamine naturally is exercise. Exercise also increases the production of endocannabinoids, which are molecules made by the body that bind to the same receptor as cannabis. To boost dopamine is to actually reduce light exposure between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. And this is because light exposure during that time activates a pro-depressive pathway in the brain that reduces the activity of dopamine. Number 4 is novelty. Trying something new or going somewhere new is a great way to boost dopamine. And tip number 5 is humor. Humor increases dopamine, so watching something funny or talking to a funny friend is a great way to get dopamine.
And then Cody Sanchez, who's recently been on this podcast, she really has a great Instagram account. It's Cody Sanchez, her name, CODIESANCHEZ, Cody Sanchez, and it's an account all with business advice. And I have to say, she's got really great business advice on every single post.
Fail you pay once, regret lasts a lifetime. There's a quote that I love, which is, a coward dies 1,000 deaths, but a hero can die only one. It's the same thing in our lives. Everybody's concerned about failing at that big thing, and what if other people know? But the truth of it is, you have to look yourself in the mirror every single day, remembering all the times you just didn't take the swing at all. Would you rather be the coward, dying 1,000 deaths by paper cut, or be the hero, and you only can die once?
And she got great personality too.
Yeah, she really does a good job. So those are 2 Instagram accounts. But I like all the, like on TikTok, I like all magician accounts or kids doing parkour. There's like superheroes on TikTok. So next time we do this, I'll have some of those that I really like.
Right.
But that's my favorite 2 Instagram accounts at the moment.
Do you learn anything
And
from
then-
the M on the brain at all? Usually?
Excuse me?
Do you usually learn something every time you look at
Yeah,
one
every
of her
single
reels?
time.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. Every single time. And she's like Andrew Huberman, but she's prettier than Andrew Huberman, and maybe she's even got better neuroscience tips than Andrew Huberman. Andrew Huberman's been on this podcast several. Now, also, my favorite YouTube mashup. What I really love is, I love when people take 2 groups that separately I love, like 2 musical groups that separately I love, and then they mash them together. And so there's this one I've just been obsessively listening to. Like, if you like either Led Zeppelin or the Wu-Tang Clan, this guy, Curious George, his YouTube account is Curious George, and he only has like 9,000 subscribers. And he did this great mashup called the Wu-Tang Zeppelin. And it's like, every song is great on this mashup. It's like a perfect mashup of the Wu-Tang Clan and Led Zeppelin.
M-E-T-H-O-D, man. Hey, you, get off my cloud. See me get raw with my southpaw style. Mover, puffing on the fat blunt from Cuba. It's the Medi-Cal, jet the cal, I'm the Buddha. Monk on the hunt for machine gun.
Let me see what other mashups he's done. He has A Tribe Called West, which is Kanye West mashed up with A Tribe Called Quest. He has Dr. Doom. It's a mashup between MF Doom and Dr. Dre. So he does, I guess, a lot of rap stuff. But I like this kind of classic rock the Wu-Tang Clan is really good. So I like mashups. That's my YouTube of the day. I have many other favorite YouTube channels, but we'll just go with that one.
You know what's my favorite YouTube channel?
What's that?
The James Altucher Show.
The James Altucher Show YouTube channel. It's a
Yes.
fantastic YouTube channel. I don't like it that much because I've already seen them all. I was there, so I get bored, but watching myself again. I don't like to watch myself on YouTube. Oh, okay. My AI website. Like, I have a different favorite website every day, so you could ask me every day, and I have a different favorite one. This website out. It's really great. Go to, have you tried this one, Jay?
Yeah.
SUNO.ai.
Yeah, I use it to write my podcast music.
Yeah, for this episode, can we change the podcast music to open this up to a song that we make on SUNO?
I think we could, but I wonder if that's any copyright that we have to
Who
worry
cares? Who cares? What are they going to do? Sue us?
about. They'll probably have to
Like-
sue Suno first.
I'll sue them back. Well, counter sue. So who cares?
Yeah.
I'm suing you. What? They're stealing anyway. Well, all this AI stuff is like stolen content of stolen content.
Exactly. Just like what Sarah Silverman has said.
Yeah. What did she say?
She said, like, we shouldn't be able to use anything on the internet to train the AI because, that it's stealing.
No, I mean, I get it that she's a content creator, and so she's feeling the ownership of her content. She doesn't want like AI just to have it for free and nobody will know it was her content originally. But when an AI creates something, it's using so many micro pieces of content from all over the place, and it's being original too by combining them together in original ways. It's really hard to trace where some content is coming from.
Right.
And just be confident in yourself that if you have great content, it's still going to rise above the ad nauseum of AI. But that said, go to suno.ai, Suno, not sumo, but suno.ai, or go to the YouTube channel, and we'll have all the links to these things in the show notes. But go to suno.ai, and you can basically write a song description. Like I wrote an aggressive gangster rap song about James Altucher being the king of podcasts. and it came up with the song title, and then it has a human playing the song. We'll play you a clip in a second, but it has like the Altucher Empire or the Podcast Flow or Flowing with Altucher or Podcast King. So it's fun. I'll play one right now.
It's time to pay respect to the king of podcasts, James Altucher the vet. He's got the mind, he's got the flow, dropping knowledge bombs everywhere he goes. Podcast king taking over the scene, staying true to wisdom, living a dream. No topic too tough, no guest too big. James Altucher, he's the real podcast king.
Comedian. Okay, I highly recommend people Google on YouTube Greer Barnes. First off, I have a lot of favorite comedians. It's nonstop. I could do a whole podcast about my top 100 favorite comedians. But Google Greer Barnes and Google Greer Barnes imagines the day Black people leave Earth, and subscribe to Greer Barnes' YouTube channel. He is just nonstop, like a high quality comedian. Unfortunately, nobody really knows. Not that many people have heard of the guy, and he's one of the best comedians out there. And I don't say that part lightly. Favorite Twitter account? Well, the Twitter account of one of our recent podcast guests, Brian Roemmele, Roemmele. He always has this weird, quirky stuff. Like here's one, the brain goes through 12 phases of development, and he describes the different phases. Or here's another one. Here's a story, a picture of Ella Fitzgerald and Marilyn Monroe, and how Ella Fitzgerald was not allowed to perform in Hollywood's most popular nightclub, the Mocambo. Marilyn Monroe called the owner, explained that if he booked Ella, she would be there every night, which guaranteed huge press coverage. So he did book Ella, and that totally made Ella's career a huge success, put her over the top. And here's another one. He quotes an article, less than half of Americans are very satisfied with their own lives. Oh, here's a great one. He has these drawings, like it's the first human drawings in caves, and they're from 37,000 years ago, and they're drawings of animals. So did you know that humans were already putting cave drawings on 37,000 years ago? He has a bunch of stuff about the Vision Pro. NASA tracks the brightest cosmic event ever recorded. Here's one. He has a thing about 1983 and the release commercial for the Sony Super Walkman, a cassette player the size of a cassette case. Boy, that looks cool. If it could play more than 9 songs, it would be like an iPod.
James, do you remember that there was once like the CD player? They called it the CD Walkman was a thing. Like everyone has that one round thing by the pocket, and they will wear like a headset. They're like, oh, I'm like from the outer space. Look at me, so cool and futuristic.
Well, first of all, not only did I remember that, but I remember the 1983 Walkman that he's referring to. So I go way, way back. I'm practically as old as these guys who wrote on these cave walls 37,000 years ago. Oh, here's one that Brian has. Early dementia warning. Thinning of this brain region may signal risk up to 10 years before symptoms. I better get my brain checked out. Here's a map of Apple's product revenue from 2007. So basically, it shows the iPhone in 2007 was almost nothing, and the big thing was the iMac. And then gradually, the iPhone became the biggest. The iPhone alone is $200 billion in revenues now. All right, so that's my favorite Twitter account. I have lots of favorite Twitter accounts, but I'm going to stick with Brian for now. And let's see, favorite books. Well, I've talked a lot about the collection of short stories, Jesus' Son by Dennis Johnson. Best collection of short stories ever. But I have to say, and by the way, I'm not mentioning any books by ex-podcast guests on purpose. They're all great, and I loved all of them. But this guy I never got as a podcast guest, and he recently died. Mahali, and I can never say his name, Sishan Mahili something. He's the author of the book Flow, and he came up with the whole concept of flow, which is when you're really passionate about something and you love working on something, so you work on it in this state of flow, and you barely can remember the time. It happens so fast. But he also wrote, most people don't know, he wrote a book called Flow that a lot of people know about, but he also wrote a book called Creativity, The Psychology of Discovery and Invention. And I have to say, this is the best book on creativity I've ever read. And I'm trying to think why I bookmarked this one page months ago when I read this. I don't know what I was specifically bookmarking, but he says, to overcome the pain of existence, One must be honest one must be honest with oneself, acknowledging one's faults and weaknesses. Like a surgeon, one must be willing to cut deeply into the festering sores of the psyche. Otherwise, too much energy is absorbed in denial or in ruminating over disappointments. And so the point there is, and I see this in a lot of good creators, is that really don't be afraid to tell the story of your worst, most vulnerable moments, because that's truly a universal vein that you tap into, and everyone appreciates that kind of creativity when you're really willing to spill your blood on the page or the canvas or whatever. And I find that this book, which is like 300 or so pages, is just filled with incredible advice about creativity, and if you want to be an artist or an actor or a writer or a clown or a magician. By the way, I love books about clowns too. Most people don't realize clowns are more than just what you see in the circus. There's a whole like science and philosophy about clowns.
I wanted to be a clown when I was growing up.
Really? Because of the circus? Or,
It's because it just makes people laugh.
one time I did a clown routine as kind of a part of my stand-up act, but nobody liked it. You know how people play the air guitar?
Uh-huh.
Well, I played the air piano. So I put on the song Great Balls of Fire by Jerry Lee Lewis, and it actually has some like weird piano motion in it. Like it's interesting to watch. But I played the air piano, and the only one in the audience who laughed was Kamal Ravikant, who's been on this podcast many times. And
You know why?
he laughed.
You know why it failed? Because you're not drunk enough.
No, if I was drunk, I would not have been able to do it because
Really?
it was actually pretty complicated to do. Like I practiced it for about a month before
shit.
I performed it, because there's like I don't know how to describe it. There's a lot of flourish in on the piano in the song. So I was very much exact, and you had to know like the exact second to like do different things with your hand. So it was like hard to do that bit. So I practiced for a month to do like a 2-minute bit. But everyone in the audience was just like staring at me at the end, like, what the hell did you just do? But Kamal was cracking up. So all credit to Kamal on that one.
Yeah, we love Kamal.
And now, Jay, what's your favorite Kung Fu movie? Because I've recently got into Kung Fu movies.
Oh my God, I have so much to talk about because Kung Fu movie was like
all right,
great.
just calm down a little bit. Just give me your favorite.
All right, I'm gonna start from like very very early days, right? This is like 1978. One of my favorite was Drunken Master, starring Jackie Chan.
I heard about that one.
That was
That was
great.
1978?
Yep, 1978.
Well, okay, I was looking last night for a Jet Li movie. What Jet Li movie should I watch?
Oh yeah, the Once Upon China, I think it's called.
Once Upon a Time in China?
Yep, Once Upon a Time in China. Yeah,
Got it.
because the main guy that he played, the character is like a famous Chinese kung fu master in China. Growing up practicing martial art, so like Wang Feihong is like one of the biggest like sort of like a kung fu master figure in Chinese martial arts.
All right, I'll watch that. I'll watch that tonight. So my favorite, and I didn't want to like this one. I've seen it advertised forever. I've seen people talking about it forever. I didn't think I would like it. It looked like just some dumb kung fu movie. But I watched the first one, and then the next day I watched the next 3 movies. It was so great, and I've been watching clips of it ever since. And it's called Ip Man. It's spelled IP space man, M-A-N. Ip Man. And then there's Ip Man 1, 2, 3, and then Ip Man 4, the finale. And they are all great. Each one is better than the one before it. And it stars this guy, Donnie Yen, and he plays this role. So it's based on the story of the real Ip Man, who was the teacher of Bruce Lee in the martial art called Wing Chun. And Wing Chun, if you don't know, is the one martial art. Do you know this, Jay? Wing Chun is the one martial art that is not allowed in MMA or Ultimate Fighting or anything like that. Because Wing Chun will kill you. Like the purpose of Wing Chun, I didn't know this. It was started by women because they're smaller than often their male attackers. And so they can't really fight them like a boxer. They have to basically know the exact points how to kill people. And that's how Wing Chun developed, was to protect women.
Right.
But this guy, Ip Man, was a grandmaster of Wing Chun. And it goes back to all the way to the 1930s China, and then when it's occupied by Japan. But then the Ip Man, then the Ip Man finale is all the way in San Francisco when Ip Man goes to visit Bruce Lee. And Donnie Yen, the actor who plays him, plays with such nobility and integrity. Like, you really admire this guy, his discipline, his personality, his honesty, the way people look up to him, the way he respects and treats other people. What did you like about Ip Man?
Wow, just the choreography of the fight, because that's what all all I'm about, right? I can't really relate to China and Japan, all the war and stuff, but just Donnie and just the fight and choreography is just so beautiful. You don't get it anymore in all the Western movie anymore. That's why the modern kung fu movie, like the Western one, looks kind of like still like a lot of cuts, camera flying everywhere. You can't really see anything clearly. But with like Yip Man, like the choreograph of the kung fu and the martial arts, you can see everything clearly, and clearly everyone in the movie knows some sort of martial arts.
Right, exactly. That's the whole point, is that in some martial arts movies, you could tell the main actor has no clue what's happening.
Exactly.
And that's why there's a lot of cuts and also. But like Donnie Yen, he's
Great.
like a master of many different martial arts. And you could tell, like when I read a little bit more about Wing Chun and what it is, you could tell he is very deeply into Wing Chun, the way he, he attacks the knees, he attacks the eyes. He does all these Wing Chun moves, and someone explained to me like why he holds his hands the way he does in Wing Chun, and how he uses the elbow to defend. Like the elbow apparently is the most, strongest part of your body pretty much. And it's just fascinating stuff. Great stories based on a true guy. I don't know if the stories are based on true stories, but it's based on a true guy. And Donnie Yen, if people don't know, he was in Rogue One. He was like the blind guy who had the Force in Rogue One. But you could tell he's a good actor, because I haven't seen another Donnie Yen movie that is like the role he played in Ip Man. Like Ip Man was not his personality. He has a different personality. Like Ip Man's very serious too.
He was in John Wick 4.
Oh, I don't like the John Wick movies, and I know people disagree with me that I
Right.
watched the first one and I thought it was a little boring. But Donnie Yen was also in Iron Monkey, which was previously, I didn't know he was in Iron Monkey, and that was in previously my favorite kung fu movie.
That was a long time ago, isn't it? Like
1993. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Quentin Tarantino brought it to the US. Ip Man, check out those movies. Thank me later. Okay, my favorite AI website. Oh, I did that one. Oh, but
Yeah.
you know what? Since I said it, I'm going to give you another one. You'll love this other one. Go to Pixelate. Oh, wait, not found. I must have spelled it wrong. Hold on. I'm just going to Google Pixelate and have it take me. Yeah. No, it didn't take. Oh, because I use Bing.
Okay,
Man,
favorite browser, not Bing.
Yeah, anything but Bing. Why is Bing my default browser? I have Google Chrome. Okay, Pixite.ai, Pixite.ai. You can log in for free, and I typed in make a t-shirt about James Altucher playing chess, and it made this great t-shirt, mostly about chess, not so much about me. And then it lets you sell them right away. So I think it's a genius idea. So check it out. It's my second favorite AI website of the day. First was Suno, S-U-N-O. And check out Pixite.ai. Make a t-shirt. Let us know on Twitter, and we'll all buy your t-shirt. So tag me or refer to me at @JAltucher so I can find it, and I will buy your t-shirt, even if there's 20,000 t-shirts that are made. So that's pretty much my favorite things. I was going to say about my favorite politician ever, but I'll save that for next time. We'll do more. If you like hearing about my favorite things and you like some of these recommendations, just tweet at me that you told me you like this, subscribe to this podcast, and I will definitely do this again. I have so much more that I love sharing. You know what? You might as well talk about the things that you love and the things that you're fascinated about. So these things fascinate me. I'm impressed with all the creativity of every site, person, book, comedian, whatever that I mentioned. And I hope you'll be as excited as I am as well.
Yeah, and if you have any recommendations, tweet at us, right? So we can check them out.
Oh, yeah. Tweet us your favorite AI websites, your favorite Instagram accounts, your favorite Twitter accounts, and whatever you want. Your favorite whatever. Favorite sitcoms. Okay,
Yeah.
favorite sitcom right now for me, other than Curb Your Enthusiasm, which is just beyond, but Dave and Atlanta. Atlanta, you know how to spell Dave, you know how to spell. Trust me, watch the 2 seasons of Dave. It's really super funny. So, Jay, what's your favorite sitcom? Tell me your favorite sitcom.
I gotta say Seinfeld, but that's not up
What?
there anymore. That's not
Did
up
you
there
just
anymore. We can't. I can't betray.
did
The
you
New York
just
City.
sin?
I know. I know.
Did you just
Well,
commit a sin?
okay. Is Big Bang Theory considered a sitcom? Wait,
Yeah,
no,
but
Silicon Valley.
okay, I'll go along with Silicon Valley. It's not my absolute favorite, but it's very funny. The problem with Big Bang Theory is that it's a broadcast show, so there's it really has a lot of censors and ads and all that kind of stuff. Also, but who recently talked about the Big Bang Theory? We had
Mike Massimino.
Mike Massimino. Yeah, he wrote about how the Big Bang Theory started, and I forgot why he wrote about that, but it was very interesting. Read his book Moonshots.
Yep. Yeah, he was in there.
Oh yeah, he was on the show a couple times. That's right.
Yep. Yeah, I remember. It was so young. He was so young then.
All right, Jay, thanks so much. And remember,
Okay.
everybody else, send me recommendations at Jay Altucher on Twitter, or tell me send me the link to your T-shirt and I'll buy it. Thanks a lot.
All
Thanks, Jay.
right. See ya.